Congress party decided to hold an agitation outside the ED offices throughout the country on 22nd August, that is tomorrow. And we are demanding a JPC into allegations of Hindenburg report against the SEBI chief. And I want to explain why we are holding the protest against ED. Because the SEBI chairperson, a lady called Madhvi Puri Butch, she is the head of SEBI. And the role of the SEBI is to protect the interest of 10 crore investors. I think most of the people who are present here in this hall must be investing in share market in some amount or the other. And to ensure that their investment is protected and to ensure that 4.5 lakh billion rupees market cap is protected, it is the duty of SEBI and SEBI's chairperson. Now SEBI's chairperson she is the most powerful bureaucrat in this country because no other organization has triple role. She is quasi-judicial, she has judicial powers, she has legislative powers, the SEBI can draft law, and SEBI has executive powers. But have you ever heard of a judge on whom there is some allegation and the judge is examining or investigating the same case? This is not possible in this country. If there is an allegation on a judge cannot examine or adjudicate that case. But here there is an allegation against the SEBI's chief. In the same case, she was investigating. Number two, she is entrusted to ensure that there is no wrongdoing in the investments in SEBI, in the market. But here we have a report which came 2 weeks back, which shows that she has a direct interest into the same funds which are being used to manipulate Indian markets, which are being used to manipulate the share prices of Adani and his companies. So this is a very serious allegation. And when such an allegation comes, what is expected? If as per SEBI rules also, if any allegation comes against any company director, what is the first thing? That you investigate. You investigate whether those allegations are true or wrong. But in this case, there are allegations against the SEBI chief, but there is no investigation. Zero investigation. What are the allegations? Allegations are simple. That when she was a private person, she invested into a fund. The fund was being managed by the director of Adani companies called Mr. Ahuja. He was the director of 2 of the Adani companies. That fund is a Benami fund. That fund invested into Adani companies in the stock market. That fund was being investigated by the SEBI. It was one of the 13 funds which SEBI was supposed to investigate as per the orders of Supreme Court. Now the chief herself was one of the investors in one of the funds which was being investigated by SEBI, and nobody finds it wrong. This is a very serious situation. She says herself, SEBI did not say, when allegation comes, what we expect? We expect that board of directors of SEBI will meet. We expect that the board of governors from RBI will meet, or the Ministry of Finance officers will meet. They will hold a meeting, they will call the SEBI chairperson, and they will examine whether the allegations are true or false, and then they will give a statement to the people of India. But after allegations, the SEBI directors, the SEBI board never met. Finance Ministry officials held no meeting. Reserve Bank of India officials hold no meeting. The SEBI chairperson herself comes out a statement with her husband. Okay, I am innocent, I have done nothing wrong. Is this allowed to any other person in this country? If there is a case against a person, then there will be no investigation by anyone, and the person herself will say that I am innocent. Is it allowed in this country? Certainly not. So our demand is simple, that the SEBI chairperson is linked to a fund, Benami fund, which is linked to Adani. That Benami fund was to be investigated by SEBI, and she is the SEBI chairperson. And her position makes it important that while the funds are being investigated again in future, she should not remain the chairperson of SEBI. She should resign from SEBI. Now, Ms. Madhavi says, the chairperson of SEBI says, that when the funds of Adani were being investigated, the Benami funds alleged to be linked with Adani were being investigated, I recused myself. I was not part of that investigation. But in Supreme Court, she did not say that. When SEBI presented its report to Supreme Court was not informed that SEBI chairperson has recused herself, has removed herself from the investigation. It was not told to Supreme Court. Interestingly, she herself presented the investigative report to Supreme Court. Now when she is caught, it is being said that she has recused. If she had recused, why Supreme Court was not informed? If she had recused from the investigation, why did she present the investigation report to Supreme Court? This is our question to SEBI and Government of India. Part B. We know any person who's an officer in SEBI, who's an office bearer in SEBI, cannot draw profit from any other company or any other organization. Because it is a very sensitive position. SEBI chief has the power to regulate your share market. Every day we say small rumors happen, small input tips come, and the share prices go up and down. And people either make money or lose money. Everything is known to SEBI chairperson. All the companies' financials, credentials are known to SEBI. So SEBI chairperson and the SEBI officers, by law, they cannot take profit from any company. And here we found that there is a company of which she was a director, and she was drawing consultancy from that company. While she was SEBI member, she was drawing consultancy from that company. Now she comes and says, no, that company had transferred to my husband. But the shares are in her name. So this is not, if any person, if any one of you are running a company and something happens wrong, can you say that, oh, I have given it to my wife, so I am not responsible? While on paper everything is in your name. Or I have given it to my husband and I am not responsible. Here the SEBI chief says that I had given it to my husband, so I am not responsible. This is the flimsiest of excuse given by SEBI chief. You are the SEBI head. You are supposed to see that every rule related to stock market is followed by all the companies of this country. And here she is drawing profit from a consultancy linked to stock market. This is a serious allegation. And when reporters, journalists, they try to examine, another shocking thing came to our knowledge. What is shocking? That the address of our company and the address of the auditor of our company is same. If this had happened to any company in India, SEBI would have shut that company down. SEBI would have ordered a criminal investigation into that company, because the auditor and the company director cannot have same office. And here, SEBI chief and her auditor, her company and auditor share the same office. So our question is, this is a clear-cut violation of SEBI rules. She is in a position of power to influence the share market. So she should abide by rules. And since she has not done, she must be investigated. Investigation by this government is not possible for simple reason that this government has always tried to save anything and anybody linked to Gautam Adani. Anybody who's linked to Gautam Adani, this government does nothing against those people. So we are demanding a joint parliamentary committee to examine it. And why do we say this is linked to Adani? Because when she was not in SEBI, when she was a private person, she and her husband, both of them, invested into a Benami fund. We have seen so many speeches by Prime Minister Modi against Benami. From Lal Killa, he has said that he will finish all the Benami transactions in this country. We all have heard. He has in Parliament said in so many occasions that he is against Benami transaction. But here, a person who's SEBI chief she and her husband make deposits in a Benami fund. And who is the owner of that fund? It is the brother of Gautam Adani, Vinod Adani. And who facilitates her to invest in that fund? It is a person called Ahuja, who is the director of Adani Power and Adani Enterprises. So Adani's brother's fund, facilitated by Adani's director, and these husband and wife, Madhuri and her husband, invest in that Benami fund. And that Benami fund is found by Hindenburg report to be manipulating share market. That fund in which, Benami fund in which Madhuri Buch and her husband invested was a fund owned by Vinod Adani, was a fund facilitated by director of Adani companies, and that fund, there's an allegation that that fund was manipulating Indian stock market. Supreme Court ordered an investigation into that fund, and this lady, who is the chairperson of SEBI, was investigating that fund. And that is how clean chit was given. So that is why we have no more faith in the investigations ordered by this company, this government. We are asking for a joint parliamentary committee to investigate it. Number two, we have to remember that she was the first non-government servant officer to be made SEBI chief. Before Madhuri Buch, SEBI always had a senior most IAS as the chairperson. She was the first private person to be made. It was a lateral entry. She was aligned to Adani. She was first made a member, and after a few years she was made chairperson. There is a clear-cut link between Adani, lateral entry, senior position, and now corruption. And this is what we are opposing. We have opposed lateral entry yesterday. There were 65 more positions advertised by Government of India for lateral entry, and what we suspected, similar people who could be some corporates person, who could be RSS people, who could be linked to somebody, they would have come on senior positions, and they would have manipulated the way SEBI now is being alleged by Ms. Madhuri Buch. And that is why now we are demanding the second demand, that the shell companies are involved. It is the duty of ED to investigate shell companies. It is the duty of ED to see where money laundering is happening. ED has been going after political people without any proof. In so many cases, high courts and Supreme Courts in the last 3 months have really castigated ED that they are doing a political vendetta. Here is a clear-cut case of Benami company manipulating Indian stock market, and our SEBI chief being an investor in that Benami company. ED must investigate it. And to force ED to investigate, tomorrow Congress party will hold protest outside ED offices throughout India. This is what we want to say. Our thing is very simple. Till date, in last few years, we have seen public property, public assets, public companies, public airports, public ports are being handed over to Adani. In your area, I think 3 ports have gone to Adani. In this area, this is people's money. People paid taxes. With those taxes, these assets were developed, these PSUs were developed, this infrastructure were developed. Modi government is handing it over to Adani. That is part one. But if we do not take this seriously, 10 crore investors who are directly investing money in stock market, by improper regulation of stock market, a time may come where your money will directly be transferred to people like Adani. The stock market is doing good today, but we have seen how stock market bubble burst. It has happened several times in this country. It has happened, and people, poor people like you and me, they have lost money. Our demand is simple. SEBI was strengthened by Congress government after the Harshad Mehta scam. The idea for making a powerful SEBI was that people should not be able to manipulate the stock market, because ultimately, when the stock market is going up, common people invest. They invest their hard-earned money because they expect some profit to come. And one day the bubble bursts and you lose all the money. So that should not happen. That is why after Harshad Mehta scam, SEBI was made very powerful. What this government now today is doing, Modi government is doing, it is compromising the integrity of SEBI by keeping Madhvi Buch as the SEBI chairperson, because Madhvi Buch has a direct relation with Adani companies, and this country cannot have a SEBI chairperson where 10 crore people are investing as chairperson of SEBI, because SEBI's duty is to regulate market, to protect 10 crore people, not to protect Adani, not to protect any corporate.